Hi, we'll talk today about absolute value and distance. What's absolute value? So, let's suppose that we have an absolute value of a. So, if a is greater than or equal to 0, we will get a as a result. And we have a second case when a is less than 0. So the result will be minus a. So let's summarize it. So when the inside, the absolute value is positive, we'll get the same value. But if the inside value of absolute value is negative, we will get minus the value. Let's see example 1. A. The absolute value of 3. We all know that 3 is a positive number, so we will get the same value, which is 3. P. The absolute value of minus 3. So we know that this number here is negative, so we have to add a minus and then add the number. And we all know that minus 3 is nothing but a positive 3. C. The absolute value of 0. So 0 is not a positive or negative number, so we'll just get 0 as an output. D. The absolute value of 3 minus pi. So we all know that pi is nothing but 3.14 approximately. So let's use this value. So we have 3 minus pi, and that would equal to 3 minus 3.14. We all know that this value is a negative value. So we'll get a minus 3 minus 3.14 as a result. Let's see the properties of absolute value. So when we have an absolute value of a, that would be greater than or equal to 0. For example, when we have the absolute value of minus 3, that would equal to 3, and that number is greater than or equal to 0. This is the first property. Let's see the next property. The next property says that absolute value of a will equal to absolute value of minus a. Let's see an example. If we have the absolute value of 5, that would equal to the absolute value of minus 5. We all know that this part here is nothing but 5, and the other part is nothing but minus 5, and 5 would equal to 5. Let's see the next property. The next property says that a multiplied by p inside the absolute value, that would equal to a multiplied by the absolute value of p. Let's see an example. So if we have a minus 2 multiplied by 5 inside the absolute value, that would equal to the absolute value of 2 multiplied by the absolute value of 5. We all know that the absolute value of minus 2 would be 2, and the absolute value of 5 will be just 5, and we'll get 10. Let's see the next property. The next property says if we have a over p inside the absolute value, we can just write it as the absolute value of a over the absolute value of p. Let's see an example. If we have 12 over minus 3, that would equal to the absolute value of 12 over the absolute value of minus 3. And we all know that the absolute value of 12 is a 12 over the absolute value of minus 3 will be minus 3. And that would equal to 12 over 3, and that would equal to 4. Let's see the last property. The last property says if we have the absolute value of a plus p, that would be less than or equal to the absolute value of A plus the absolute value of P. Let's see an example. If we have the absolute value of minus 3 plus 5, that would equal to less than or equal to the absolute value of minus 3 plus the absolute value of 5. Let's see. So this part here is nothing but the absolute value of 2, and we'll just write this down, and here we have the absolute value of minus 3, so it will be minus 3 plus the absolute value of 5 is 5. Here we will have 2 is less than or equal to 3 plus 5, and we'll have here 2 is less than or equal to 8, which is correct. Let's talk about another point, which is the distance. So if we have a line and we have this point called A and the other point called P. So if we want to find this distance here, we have to subtract. So the formula for the subtraction, so the distance, let me write it here. Distance will P the absolute value for P minus A, or the absolute value for A minus P. We don't care about the sign of the inside number because it always gets a positive number, because distance never be negative. So we will always get a positive number due to the absolute value that we have. Let's see example 2. Find the distance between the numbers minus 8 and 2. So let's suppose that A would equal to minus 8 and P would equal to 2. So we'll have something like this. So this is minus 8 and this is 2. And we want to find this distance here. So as we learned, we will just subtract them inside the absolute value. So we will have minus 8 minus 2, or we will have 2 minus 8. So here we'll have the absolute value of minus 10, which is 10. And here we'll have the absolute value of 10, and we will get 10 too. So either you go with this way or this way, you will get the same answer as a distance. And always remember that distance is always positive, it never be negative. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe and share and like the video. Goodbye.